G'day. This is part 2 of a 4-part story, and it's called Learning to Ride a Horse. Can any of you lot ride a horse? A couple of boys put their hands up. Go and catch old Patches over there and saddle him up. You can take turns riding him. It'll give you a bit of experience in case you need it sometime. Patches is a big, strong-looking black and white gelding. One of the boys throws the saddle across him and is trying to do up the cinch. Not like that, you pommy bastard. Go back in the barn and get me a saddle blanket. As soon as the boy returns, Defoe places the saddle blanket over Patch's back. Then he threw the Aussie's stock saddle on the top of the blanket, and he says, "Don't forget to pull that far-side stirrup iron over the saddle, 'cause if you don't, when you throw the saddle over him, the stirrup iron will hit him in the guts, and that'll spook him and make him kick. This old horse has seen more pommy bastards than any other horse alive in Australia today, and he's not particularly fond of them. So watch him. He's not afraid of kicking, and he doesn't mind biting a piece of pommy ass now and again." Once the saddle is in place, once you got the cinch up tight, walk him around a bit. Because he's a cunning old bastard. He'll puff his belly out to make you believe the cinch is tight, and when you go to mount him, he'll let the air out, and you and the saddle will go ass over head in the dirt. Okay, now after you've walked him around a bit, if he still keeps his belly puffed out, you give him a real good swift kick in the guts like this. Boot! Defoe kicks Patches right in the guts, and in turn, Patches kicks up both his back legs high in the air, and Defoe pulls hard on the cinch. Now you're ready to mount, so watch carefully or you'll get bit on the ass. You always mount from the left-hand side, and make sure you hold the far side rein tight so he can't bite you. You put your left foot in the stirrup, and then you swing your leg up and over in one easy movement like this. Defoe is now looming above us as he sits astride Patches. You give him a good firm dig with the heel of your boot, then away you go, mate. After he walks Patches around the yard for a while, he gets off. Okay, Squirt, hop on him and have a go, mate. I'd only ever ridden a donkey on Blackpool Beach as a kid for 6pence a ride, but I take a deep breath and with great determination I stride up to Patches, who put his head down as soon as he saw me coming. Grab those reins tight, Squirt. Pull on the far side until he lifts his head up again. As I pulled on the rein, Patches swung his massive head around and tried to bite my bony little arse. Look out, Squirt. The mean old bastard'll have a piece of your arse if you're not careful, mate. All the boys laughed. Patches knows he's the centre of everyone's attention now. He swings his head around for another go at my ass. The stirrup iron's too long for you, Squirt, so adjust the strap like this, mate. There you go. That's good enough. I'll do the other side for you. Get up on him, and watch out for the cunning old bastard. He's likely to do anything. You got to be thinking one step ahead of that old bastard, 'cause if not, he'll take over and run the fucking show on you, mate. I mount Patches just like I'd seen on the cowboy movies. I give him a couple of good kicks with the heel of my boot, and Patches starts to walk around. Good on you, Squirt. That's the idea. He's real hard in the mouth, so you got to ride him and show him who's boss, 'cause if not, he'll take over. Oi! Open that gate, you curly-headed pufter, so the Squirt can go for a ride in the cow paddock. Dave opens the gate, and Patches and me go through into the paddock. Go down to the bottom of the paddock and keep your wits about you. Down the sloping paddock, me and Patches ride. This is a piece of cake, I thought to myself. Cowboy Dick rides along with one arm down at his side. What a great life it is, riding the bush range in Australia. Maybe I'll get myself a job, droving cattle around the bush now that I can ride a horse. We reached the bottom of the long paddock. I'm still fantasizing myself as a cowboy. I almost pull out one of my imaginary 6-guns that are slung low at my hips. Just then, Patches turns around and totally unexpected and takes off back up the paddock at full speed. All I can do is hang on as my new bush hat flies off my head into nowhere. Faster and faster, Patches gallops up the field. I'm shit scared, but at the same time, the excitement of the gallop is amazing. Uh-oh, now what do I do? 30 or 40 yards ahead of me is a barbed wire fence where all the boys stand cheering and yahooing. "Ride the old bastard!" yelled the foe. "Yahoo!" yelled the boys. The fence is now dangerously close and my fantasies are long gone. "Ride the old bastard!" the boys yelled out. "Yahoo!" The fence now looms dangerously close and my fantasies are long gone. All of a sudden, Patches applies the horse brakes and I see myself flying through the air, headlong over the fence. The next thing I remember is Defoe pulling me up on my feet. The back of my head has a throbbing, dull ache in it, and my ass feels like someone just kicked it with a size 10 boot. Defoe says, "Jesus bloody Christ, mate, what the fuck are you playing at? You're supposed to stop when the horse stops. You bloody well hurt yourself getting off a horse that way. Now get back up on the old bastard and try it again." "I don't think I'm cut out for riding horses, Mr. Defoe." "Fucking bullshit, lad. You'll make a damn good jockey if you stop eating. Now get back on him, 'cause if you don't, you'll end up scared of horses. And if you're scared of horses, you're rooted for bush life, mate." Someone catches Patches and hands me the reins. Defoe gives me a leg up. "Now watch the old bastard. He thinks he's got it all over you." Defoe is absolutely right, 'cause as soon as we go through the gate into the paddock, Patches refuses to go anywhere. "Give the rotten old bastard a decent kick in the guts." The heel of my boot makes contact with Patches' sides. He did not take a liking to this command, so he decided to buck. Up on his hind legs he stands. Then he goes down again, and at the same time, he kicks his back legs high in the air. "Yahoo! Ride him, cowboy!" said some of the boys. Defoe yelled out again, "Show the bastard what you're made of, Pommy." I give Patches another good command. Up and down he goes, kicking and bucking for his worth. My ass and knees are now feeling the pain as Patches continues to try to hurl me to the ground again. "Make the bastard go down the paddock again." By sheer willpower, I get old Patches to walk forwards and down the paddock again. Only this time, there are no cowboy fantasies playing around in my head, only the dull throbbing ache. When we get to the bottom of the paddock, I am one step ahead of Patches. I now know what Defoe is trying to teach me. Instead of letting Patches run the show, I hold the reins in tight so he can't have his head. After a few seconds, I say to Patches in my broad Yorkshire accent, "Okay, Patches, you fucking old bastard. This time I'm running the fucking show. Now move, you fucking Aussie bastard. Yeah!" Patches needs no command from my boot heel, but I give him one anyway, just to let him know who's the boss. Off we go at full gallop again. I give him another good heel, and for good measure, I give him a hefty slap on his ass with my right hand. Yeah! I yelled at the top of my voice as Patches thunders back up the long paddock. We pass my new bush hat, and for a split second I think to myself I might lean down and snatch it off the ground, just like the Russian Cossacks do, but I dismiss that thought at once. Yeah! Up the paddock we gallop. The barbed wire fence is now getting closer. As we get about 10 feet away from it, Patches applies the brakes, and this time I lean back in the saddle and pull on the left-hand rein with my feet stuck out at the front. Patches does not like this at all, so he gives a few good bucks to show his disapproval. You got it all over him now, Squirt. Ride him back here so one of these other pufters can show off his horsemanship. I dismount, and Patches swings his head around to bite my ass and gives me a look of disapproval. Good on you, mate. We'll make a fucking good bushman out of you yet, Squirt. Where you from in England, mate? I'm from Yorkshire, Mr. Defoe. Well, in that case, mate, I'll just call you Yorky from now on, and you can call me Bill. We can do away with that Mr. Defoe bullshit, 'cause you've earned it, lad. Now you can lean on the fence and watch Patches give that ugly little bastard Morris a good fucking workout. Come on, Yorky. Come here, Morris, you ugly little fucking puffer. Up you go, mate, and show us what you're made of. It felt very strange at first to call him Bill, but before long I start to feel what it was like to be called a man. That evening after dinner, we hire a taxi and go down to Cabramatta to check out the town. The taxi arrives and we all pile in on top of each other. As we pull out from the dairy farm, Defoe appears. Keep your fucking noses and cocks clean. I don't want any of you pommy bastards coming home with a dose of clap. This is a fucking training farm, not a hospital. So don't go rooting around, 'cause there's a few loose Sheilas around Cabramatta. And don't get in a fight with those fucking bodgers and widgers. Fucking pufters, he says to himself as the taxi drives away. This is the end of part 2, called Learning to Ride a Horse. Part 3 will be Going to Town.